Welcome to Newzchain Exclusive. This week we are speaking to Subramaniun, also known as KJ Subz. He is the founder and CEO of Tefline. In this conversation, he talked about his early life and how he moved from US to India. And right now he is building Tefline from Bangalore. Let's get to the interview. So Subramaniun, welcome to Newzchain Exclusive. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Harsh. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Okay, so for our audience who are not aware, could you just tell about yourself quickly?
Long story. So, in a room of startups, I look like an end of this day. Why are you even starting up? Okay. But anyway, what I did was originally I started with my graduate studies from IIT Kanpur, computer science.
Right.
Back in the day, we used to call Turing test was like impossible, that kind of stuff. Okay. And after that, I have been in the US in large part. Okay. That ended with me leading a professional services company that we used to place people on projects, software projects, mainframe era we're talking. And then one thing led to the other, and then things happened in life which made me get back to India.
Okay.
And after I moved here, after some soul searching, I figured I need to pivot into something else which is like more closer to my heart.
Okay.
Which is what caused me to actually get into something I call performance music, which is largely karaoke, okay, but with a lot of bells and whistles thrown in there. So I would call it still performance music, which is not a widely understood term.
Right.
Anyway, so that happened for the next. So the first innings was computer science.
Okay.
Working for Tata Unisys, sent on projects to US. I live in the Southern California region in large part, Atlanta, Georgia, which is like the East Coast. And then the second inning started with me being a karaoke jockey, which was for about 20 odd years.
Okay.
And then now it's taken a backseat because, now I figured, I want to leave this planet a better place than I found it. So something more meaningful.
Right.
So it was all about fun and fame to keep my sanity largely because bad things happened. I'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Now, what I'm doing now is to nurse those bad things from ever happening to other people.
Right.
Including me, including everybody.
Okay.
So that brought me to lifestyle medicine.
Right.
I call it wellness intelligence only because lifestyle medicine comes across like very medical sometimes, that it's all about illness and how to nurse it. Far from it. Actually, I want to dwell mostly on wellness.
Okay.
And intelligence only because AI is going to play a huge role in this. So that about sums up what I've been doing.
Right. I think it's quite an interesting, journey. I mean, multiple innings. But I still want to know our producer. He's also a musician, and he would, would love to know. Were you always into music, like even before you became a software engineer?
If you had asked me or anybody in my company that I'd get into karaoke singing, they'd laugh their head off and say, I have not even the remotest connection.
Right.
So what happens is, when there's something that you're trying to heal within, we all go to movies, watch videos, listen to songs, and that's very therapeutic. So I used it to heal myself, actually. There was nothing about, I need to be doing this for a living, far from it. And karaoke is something which happened because of, I was trying to look for my ikigai.
Okay.
I'll come back to what I was doing when I was a software engineer later. But my ikigai, I asked myself, I'm good at marketing, I'm good at technology, I'm good with music as in listening to music. Okay, singing, I want to sing.
Right.
I was not very good. So after a while, you get used to your voice and then you get better because it'll be terrible for you. So I ended up doing that. But anyway, so the intersection of these three things actually is my ikigai, which I asked my subconscious what it's going to be.
Right.
And these things present themselves.
Right.
I mean, like, you're like a tuning fork, vibrating at a certain frequency. There's something else. Karaoke has not taken birth in India at that time. It was being found. And I didn't know I was the accidental, founder of that. So I'd go to a place where they just invite me for this thing. And then one thing led to the other. I ended up pioneering karaoke in India.
Okay.
And so long story, went on to become the #1 karaoke jockey in the world because, Google search, if you look at, I rank very highly in all the 219 countries. So that kind of drove me only because it kept my sanity. Now suddenly I can nurse my own, whatever was going through, the thing was brewing inside me. I had to fix that. And then after it's getting fixed, I decided, okay, so I need to do something more meaningful than just karaoke. So this is what got me into lifestyle medicine.
That's interesting. There's one term that I wanted to ask. It's called hardware entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, those are the terms I coined actually.
Okay, because it was very interesting.
Exactly. So Harsh, what happened was people were asking me, why did I make this switch?
Okay.
So I said, you know what, I want to do something that was closer to my heart.
Okay.
And being a software engineer, it seemed like not hardware, that I'm not good at that.
Right.
Hardware is probably even better. I connect with that more.
Nice.
Hardware explains that.
Right.
And I love not only reading books, also I've been writing books as well. So right now there are about 8 books thanks to generative AI. It's so easy to articulate what you want to do.
Of course.
And you know, my voice, I've captured it already.
Okay.
So I've cloned myself.
Right.
The way it should be written, those books, about 8 to 10 books that are coming out before long. So entrepreneur is basically, you know, entrepreneur, which is basically who is also an author.
Right, right.
That's how, you know, hardware entrepreneur comes about.
Right, got it, understood. I have like one follow-up question now that you have mentioned about AI and everything, and you're also into writing. Do you feel if authors start actually producing books through using AI, like with AI's assistance, do you think they're going to lose some sort of credibility? Personally, I feel no, because again, it's more about the thought and the idea and everything. AI is just going to assist it. But I want to know your take as well.
I have a very firm take on this. Okay. Here's how it works. Most people don't even understand how this whole thing works.
Right.
To me, AI is a phenomenal creator. I'm the curator of that.
Right.
Before, during, and after. So I guide it basically. The voice that I have given AI is based on what I approved and what I disapproved of how to express it.
Right.
Conceptualization, you know, when I'm interdisciplinary, okay, the connections between these disciplines is something AI can not readily make.
Right.
Those connections, which is a strength. So conceptually also it's far ahead of me. But then, you know what, it's all about leading it to a place where you say, hey, you know what, do you think this is how it works?
Right.
And then it finds all the connections. So you need to take the lead, right?
Right.
That's part of the curation process. Curation is also about how to express it.
Correct.
So there are gazillion books out there, Harsh. Who's got the time to read these books?
Of course.
Nobody has got the time. Don't tell me you're going to write another book on wellness. No one is going to read it anyway.
True.
It cannot be a book.
Right.
And we also have this little wall that basically says, hey, you know, I know it all. Don't try to change me.
Right.
Okay. We don't overtly say it, but literally that's how it's happening. So you need to write a book in a way that's metaphorical.
Correct.
But there was this great book that has changed my life called Therapeutic Metaphors that I had read.
Okay.
Metaphors are extremely therapeutic. So Aesop's fables, Panchatantra have survived thousands of years only because they have actually communicated through a metaphor. So what happens is you're reaching through the subconscious, the back door, because the front door is going to be not going to be opened at all.
Right.
Don't tell me what to do, sir. I basically know it all or used to know. And now I don't want to change my behavior. It's too difficult for me. But what you come through the back door, which is what I do, my books are going to have 80% white space every page.
Okay.
And they'll come across like sonnets actually.
Okay.
And they'll rhyme and people are going to actually, it's almost nail biting, you know, what's going to happen next kind of a thing. This is the way to tell stories.
Right.
And I realized humans, the thing that got us to the top of the pecking order is because we are storytelling animals.
Correct.
No other animal tells stories like we do.
Right.
We have to master that art form.
Right.
So easy to say storytelling, but boy, that's an art form that
It is.
AI can be guided to become so good because finally it has to get my seal of approval.
Right.
Of course, it's good, but I make it great.
Right.
So together we do it.
Correct. Again, it's my story. It's just AI is just assisting in writing it.
Yes.
Makes sense. Okay. Again, I want to move to the startup part, but I'm still curious, and it's a question, and I really want to know, how was your first gig experience as a performance?
Okay. So the first gig was, I used to call friends over to my place actually.
Okay.
And we'd sing karaoke. I'll tell you how it happened actually. You know, it's a funny story. Somebody, like, there was this hash house Harriers, okay? It's basically a group of people. Basically, we go for long walks because there's drinking as well at the end of it all. they'd say, hey, we're going to do karaoke. And
Okay.
then they didn't know what karaoke was. It's
Okay.
like a fancy term a few people knew.
Mhm.
And so this is after I was asking my subconscious mind, what is it that I should do in my ikigai?
Okay.
I get called to this place
Oh.
and we sang maybe 40, 50 songs that day,
Okay.
all English. But they were singing my songs, all the songs I knew, all the lyrics of. That's quite a coincidence.
Right.
It's as if, it was architected for me.
Right.
So this is how you know that, the world is going to conspire to give it to you.
Right.
That's literally what happened. They looked at me as the demigod. And then I said, I need to look up the real deal. What is karaoke?
Right.
I looked it up. And then I called friends over to sing at my home.
Mm-hmm.
And then we used to call people over in my apartment complex.
Right.
It's a condominium, okay? So there we'd call like 40, 50, 80 people. And everybody would go home saying, we have seen nothing like this. Bouncing ball and the old school stuff.
Right.
So it was like at the end of every show. So I used to go to cafe coffee days all
Right.
over the country, actually, not just
Okay.
in Karnataka only.
Mhm.
Bangalore, of course, mostly.
Right.
And then I'd get other people to sing. Okay.
Mhm.
And to me, it was like making these people happy. Night, I would not even sleep that night
Okay.
because, it makes you feel so good. Not only I was having a good time,
Mhm.
people say, oh, and we'd have SMSs back then, right?
Right.
They would keep messaging me saying,
Right.
oh my God, we have seen nothing like this.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that's how it started. The first gig was like, so progression it was.
Uh-huh. And when did you move from the States to India?
So I got here 93,
Uh-huh.
1993. Then I went back a couple of times. And
Right.
then once in a while for wedding for the family, I keep
Right.
going.
I think from then to now, a lot of course, the change in India is like
Yes.
drastic. But, did you still have that same kind of feeling that we, people right now have coming from the States to India? Did you also see any difference?
It was very different back then.
Okay.
Now it's closer to how it is in US because everything has come to India now,
Right.
pretty much whatever you want.
Right.
Back then, there was like a difference in how you would not get too many things in India.
Right.
And we would still look at West as, hey, you need to go there to learn this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's come to a place where I think there's something we contribute for the whole world,
Right.
and it's something to be learned from each other. No country can say they have got
Right.
it all. So, yeah, so I went through that process, and a lot of people, when they come back to India, they say, oh my God, this place is not worthy of me to settle down.
Right.
It was that bad.
Okay.
Today, if somebody came back to India, they'll say, hey, this is cool.
That's fine.
Why did I go to the US in the first place?
Right.
But things have changed. For instance, okay, the kind of work I used to do in Atlanta, I'm talking about Burroughs Corporation, which is
Okay.
like one of the top computer companies. There, the offices were not as good, like this is US, okay, as good as we work in India here.
Right. Right.
These are like, you have like so many places that you could actually chill out at.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like table tennis rooms, there's all kinds of things that happen and fun events happening, networking happening, and
Right.
co-working itself never existed. So you're living in a time when things are far ahead of how it has been before.
Right.
So that's what keeps me on board now. So I say, I didn't experience this,
Right.
I didn't get this.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So Subramaniun, you mentioned about some bad things from the past, and kind of before we moving to your startup, I want to know about what really happened, and did it really make an impact to what you're doing right now?
Okay. So when I was living in the US, okay, great things were happening. Amidst all that, suddenly, sometimes life rears its ugly head. My wife was suffering from a degenerative condition,
Okay.
mood disorder, it was largely.
Mhm.
And she did not respond well to the drugs at the time, even later.
Mhm.
We keep on trying different drugs. So I got back to India because, insurance would not cover mental health conditions.
Okay.
And she was the life of the party back in the good days.
Mhm.
And then things took a bad turn. And then I had to take care of her. So,
Right.
which is what brought me back to India.
Mhm.
And in doing that, I ended up it affected me. I mean, it's like I was living suboptimally myself, and
Okay.
I needed something to heal it.
Right.
That's what birthed karaoke.
Okay.
And of course, health became always an imperative. And I used to be following the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, who, for that college, I was an avid student for a long period of time, from 2004 when it was. And even before that, the people who were teaching at the American College of Lifestyle Medicine,
Okay.
I was following for 10 years before that as well.
Right.
So this is what led me into finally looking at trying to keep my sanity using karaoke.
Right. And this is this exactly how Tefline came into the
Yes,
picture?
so Tefline is probably doing the background. So initially I was after fun and fame only because, at that age that seemed more appropriate.
Right.
And then now it figured like, oh yeah, I need to have thoda, abhi to kuch nahi bana hai paisa. So
Okay.
fitness to banna hai, body banna hai.
Right.
Fitness and maybe some mini fortune if nothing, okay?
Okay.
Only because when you don't make money early on, at least for later years, you need
Right.
to be active. But looking at how life is shaped up after that, I figured that it's not as if people should retire. Whoever has got that notion, it's all wrong actually.
Okay.
It's preparing to decay when you retire.
Right.
So you need to be super active, and I believe in that.
Right.
The kind of relationship we have with comfort, unfortunately, is very unhealthy.
Okay.
So we think that everything, you ask anybody, regular people, okay, why do you work? So I make a comfortable living.
Right.
Is what you typically hear. But comfort, okay, we call it the age of comfort now, right? But it's a cage of comfort, unfortunately, because it is like a pinjre jaisa, you're inside a cage.
Right.
And if you don't have degrees of freedom of your body, finally you can't move, only because you've not moved the body. So that kind of dawned on me, and now life is more of an adventure for me,
Right.
When you're at your age, usually, you have like 4 or 5 tanks of water up top.
Right.
When there are only 2 buckets of water in the bathroom left,
Okay.
you look at life differently.
Correct.
You want to get most out of the water, right? So I value life immensely now.
Okay.
And it's not about just living. I need to make sure that, which is what actually, people have this notion that lifestyle medicine is all about illness and how to counter it. It's only a very small part of it.
Okay.
It's mostly about wellness. 90% of the gauge is wellness actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's trying to get most out of life.
Right.
That's something I got to taste, and now I can't have enough of it. So it's not about comforts at all.
Right.
So I don't really care about comforts. Is basically something to recover from a physical stress, and then or even mental stress.
Right.
Comfort is a place it's a pass through, and then life is an adventure. It's much better when you view life that way.
Right.
So I tend to now see that point of view.
Interesting. Okay, so if you have to explain what Tefline does, not to not to an investor or anyone, but for a common man, could you just?
Yeah. So Tefline actually stands for the Epicenter for Lifestyle Medicine. It's an acronym.
Right.
And lifestyle medicine largely, it's a name that has been birthed, like I said, in 2004. And it's all about the lifestyle changes that you can make. It's about eating the right kind of food, getting good sleep, getting exercise and all forms of movement, and stress mitigation. And if you're, maybe there are things that you're addicted to, keep those addictions under control. And social element. Okay, so there are like 6 pillars of, lifestyle medicine, we call it. And the problem has always been, whatever was the field of wellness, typically people look at wellness, there's a lot of snake oil there. Right? We've heard so many people from Ayurveda, for instance, they'd say, hey, you know what, you just put a little bit of ginger in your mouth 4 times in a day, your cold is going to fly away. All snake oil. So we had to separate hard science from snake oil. But that's not good enough. It's a good start. Then it came to the point where, so the reason it's actually such a rigorous scientific modality is, we look right now at what are called power laws. For instance, supposing, you have hypertension, somebody in your family has hypertension. So you can go for a walk, okay, which is good for you. Cardio is good for you. You can lift weights in the gym. It's also good for you. You can do some isometric exercise. You can do wall sit, for instance, okay, or plank or whatever. But, if you look at all these things, and finally, if I ask you to go for a walk, let's say your father, okay, who has blood pressure. So if I ask him to take a walk once every day for 1 hour, that's too much to ask for actually, in the beginning at least. So now if I say, hey, you know what, you do this wall sits, we call them basically, you sit like a chair except against a wall, and it's an isometric exercise. Turns out there's a lot of, controlled studies done in this. The effect size is the highest among all exercises when you do wall sits to curb hypertension. Now, it's not going to be as good as drugs,
Mhm.
but when you do this for a long period of time, you don't need drugs anymore.
Right.
So it's a gradation basically,
Okay.
and it's a maximum bang for buck. That's what power laws are about.
Okay.
So it's about discovering what is it that there are 300 things that you can do in
Mhm.
your life that are all healthful.
Right.
So which are the handful of things that are going to get you the power laws? Okay, is what lifestyle medicine about,
Okay.
and that's what we're trying to teach people.
Right. Amazing. And okay, this might come off as a hard question, but there are wellness startups already available, wellness
Yes.
platforms already available. People are going all out using it. Where exactly Tefline stands, or what makes Tefline better than?
Do we need Tefline even? Let's just push it. Tefline ki kya zarorat hai?
Right.
Thing. So I have 2 or 3 answers for this.
Okay.
Let's first assume that Tefline is like any other startup into wellness space.
Okay.
As it turns out, wellness is a hard problem.
Mhm.
It's not easy to solve this.
True.
Because, we've been addicted actually,
Mhm.
not only by food, by media. Social media now is the newest villain, right? And they're coming up with things to get us unhealthy faster than we can probably cope with. So the number of startups, let's say there are a few tens of thousands of startups in the
Okay.
wellness space, even that is not enough.
Right.
There need to be, if supposing all of them are doing exactly the same thing,
Right.
you need another 1,000, and
Mhm.
even that's not going to be enough. So even if I did exactly what others are doing, the space calls for more. And
Okay.
second thing is, in advertising, you talk about the number of exposures you get before you make the buying.
Right.
The purchasing that is done by you, it's not like one single thing you heard one place.
Right.
You keep on hearing it, and then finally, after the 17th exposure, you go and buy the product.
Right.
That's really true. So it's not as if, one company and then you heard it and all, they gave you the gyan.
Right.
Particularly when it comes to behavior, it's so difficult to change people's behavior. And I'll come to that later.
Right.
And the third thing is how we are going about it is basically we are using I've written a book called Perception Deception, which is basically about cognitive science.
Okay.
It's the largest compendium of its kind,
Mhm.
which has got all the cognitive biases that we are not even aware of.
Right.
But they're constantly things which we are victim to. When the stakes are low, it's okay. When the stakes
Right.
are high, it's costing us dearly. So to find out what these cognitive biases are
Mhm.
will help me to change my behavior.
Right.
So there's a lot of behavioral science that Teflon offers. Then accountability.
Right.
All these gadgets and apps that are there, wearables, trackers,
Right.
how is it we are getting from bad to worse? It's not fixing the problem.
Okay.
And the reason is because nobody is holding you accountable. For instance, you have a boss in this company of
Okay.
yours. Everyone has a boss. So
Right.
my investors are my boss, let's say. I'm held accountable for wealth.
Mhm.
Nobody holds you accountable for health.
Right.
It takes a back seat. सब कुछ होने के बाद टाइम मिलता है तो हाँ कुछ कर लेंगे.
Right.
Finally, if something gets compromised, it's health. And you don't even have adverse effects don't show up right away.
Right.
It's like there's a delay
Delay.
before you register. So you can't even see that it's happening to you.
Right.
So what we do is we hold you accountable now.
Mhm.
And one of the best ways to hold you accountable is basically not even trying to say, hey, you need to do this, because that's forcing it on you. Supposing we ask you to imagine yourself
Right.
doing something very healthful where you're getting, what you get out of it is what is most important.
Mhm.
You act as a fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Right.
You do that, that is even more powerful.
Right.
And second thing is, there's also levels of oversight on this.
Mhm.
So we also ask you to come on with a accountability partner, we
Right.
call them. Like a friend of yours
Okay.
or your significant other, spouse, who constantly keep tabs on you. So they make sure that you're doing something every week. And there's also going to be, we call them cohort mates. Basically every month we keep circulating, get 2 other people who are accountability partners, team up with you. So
Okay.
each of you, there's a weekly check-in that happens, wherein you just say, hey, this is what I've done,
Right.
in the lifestyle medicine realm,
Mhm.
and these are the challenges I had.
Right.
So, and then Teflon comes, that's the fourth one.
Okay.
Teflon basically has got, this is where agentic intelligence comes into play.
Correct.
Wherein we basically make sure your entire record,
Right.
every week you're going to record this. Basically a 2-minute, recording. It is,
Mhm.
you don't even have to type anything. And then you keep doing this, and then it transcribes it, and then you're maintaining a record the last X weeks. It's got a good understanding of
Right.
Harsh and what are his, hot buttons that work for him, and what are the places that he has problems with to help him. So we create this podcast kind of a thing, wherein two people are discussing and we call it a duologue. So it's a dual, basically. It's a dual approach, and between two people who are your coaches, actually. So we get this for you every week, and that's basically like a mirror and a magnifier. So these are the levels of oversight, 4 levels of it. This is something nobody else is doing. And all these trackers are measuring something, but they're not motivating you. So regular motivators, that you can go and get at a place like Cult Fit, let's say, cost an arm and a leg, 1,000 rupees, nobody has got to pay. So we are providing that on a virtual platform. So this is completely 100% SaaS platform. And eventually, we don't have any humans working in this company. We hope to, because finally, Finally, what we have created by AI, contrary to what public opinion is.
I was actually coming to that part.
So can we do that right now? So exactly what has happened is, we look at what is there on AI as alien, far from it. It's our collective intelligence, all humanity. We have uploaded to the cloud, and the way our brain works, the neural linkages that are there, exactly the same way. Everything is human about it. I don't know why we call it alien anymore. Literally, that's a replicated thing. And now we have created an assistant for us, a human assistant. Because many of the things, those podcasts, and I have people listen to them, they can't tell it's actually AI doing it. They say, hey, you're able to afford this professional coach. I can't.
Interesting.
Then I tell them, hey, look, this is actually, and nobody can crack it actually, because things are they're dumbing themselves down to sound human.
They've come a long way in terms of.
A long way. 5 years ago, I can understand, now it's robotic and stuff. Not anymore, Harsh. Now it's absolutely like, they have to dumb down to come across like
human. Exactly. I remember like in 2019, I was writing about OpenAI was trying to teach like few ML legends how to play hide and seek. Now, I mean, they're producing movies that are winning awards.
Absolutely. And things are not letting up anytime soon. So, agentic intelligence, which is a work in process as we speak, is something we have embraced actually. And we now know that you need that to finally sort your life. Accountability is something that is crucially missing. Plus the fact that if you change the environment, you're far more likely to change your behavior than you directly change your own behavior. Let's say one of your parents is actually not going to the gym. They should. Don't even ask them to go to the gym. Just tell them, tell Cult, my dad's going to hang out at the gym. Just hang out. You'll do nothing. You won't use any of the equipment. He just watch, and for 1 month, if he does that, very soon he'll start feeling like swinging his arms. And then, you know what? His world, now you change the environment. These are massive changes actually. Then trying to tell him he should go for a walk. Then, you crawl before you walk, before you run, before you fly. You can't suddenly bring change to people because, our microbiota, these are created not only by the food we eat, but also by our habits, how active we are. And they're going to resist any attempt you make for more than 1 or 2 days. Like resolutions, they don't last for long for some reason, basically. So this is what I think we found out. And we now, using AI, are pushing all the right hot buttons.
Okay, so far it has been a really interesting conversation, and I really want to end this on a note where upcoming entrepreneurs, whether they're building in any industry, they should learn a thing or two. You were in like multiple, like you mentioned, you had like multiple innings in your life, and you have seen more life than all of us. And what is your that one advice for someone who's building in health tech, lifestyle medicine, AI, someone who has an idea and just wants to, kind of go ahead and start? Do you have any advice for them?
So this would be different for different people. I suppose if there was like the greatest common denominator that everybody should adhere to, it's about, you got to practice what you preach. So everybody is their own ambassador for the work that they are doing. In my point of view, if it's working for you, you need to demonstrate that by living it. In other fields, it's not as critical. Like you could have a lawyer who is a phenomenal lawyer, but he could have a big punch. now you can get away with that because it's very brainy in the cases.
Right.
But here is a place where if it's not worked for you, then it's something. So you need to make sure that you're living that life.
Right.
When you do that, suddenly, nobody asks any questions. They'll say, hey, this must work for him. It will work.
Right.
Obviously work for me too. And of course, there's a lot of perseverance. Things are not going to happen the first time over. And that's part of hardship is something that one should embrace rather than have issues with hardship.
Right.
I don't know why we did that.
Right.
Always comfort ke piche haath dho ke bhag rahe pehle se. Yaar, thoda hardship ho gaya, to it's going to make you grow.
Right.
And you will pivot and then figure a way.
Right.
So always never compromise on your own health in the wellness space. You be the one actually who delivers on it.
Right.
I would say.
Understood. Okay, now you mentioned hardship and you mentioned comfort. I have like one question around it. The hustle and the grind culture.
Yes.
Youngsters, they give up on the sleep and they're like so driven. Okay, ye to karna hi hai, we have to get it done anyhow. They, give up on a lot of things in life, including their 8 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep.
Yes.
How do these guys kind of, balance it with a healthy lifestyle, going about building their startup and everything? Because I feel, there's a narrative on the internet. It's evident. If you don't grind, you don't make it. I have a different thought, but I want to know your take as well.
So the grind culture, hustling is a misguided notion.
Right.
Now we know, okay? And the reason it is so is because, so that's the reason we are called human beings.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be something, not doing, okay? The doing is something that we have outsourced to all these, artificial intelligence we have created around us.
Right.
We have done enough already developing all these skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have created, everything is uploaded, the collective intelligence is up there. So the doing is something we shouldn't be human doing, we are human beings. So this is time for the payoff actually. So I looked at this as, here's a time when you don't want to martyr yourself in trying to create a better place. You want to be the example of how to live rather than, so it's as if, the generations before us, they have done a lot of sacrifices.
Right.
Great, phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
This generation and going forward, you don't need to anymore.
Right.
Because you have inherited everything that has come from all these generations that have sacrificed.
Right.
Now at least is the time, we are racing ahead so much, it's time to slow down actually and reap the fruit of this all. Okay. So everything now that you need can be done by something. So ambition is of course going to be there. I need to be a better person. I need to, when I compare myself with other peers, to me, everybody is going to be equal, okay, before long. We'll be on universal abundant income. Where is the need for the grind culture?
Right.
It had its place, but not anymore.
Right.
So one should now start, doing whatever is necessary for you to be your best person of yourself, okay?
Right.
Rather than saying, hey, I need to slog it out so that I create something for what? Right? So I believe that should change.
Fantastic. Okay, so I think this has been one phenomenal conversation and we got a lot of insights. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming on the show.
Very pertinent questions.
Right.
I'm so glad that you put me on the spot, and sometimes, it's not been easy like answering some of these questions, but somebody has to do that. Okay, so I hope I was...
Oh, of course you were on point, and I'm pretty sure our audience is going to love it as well.
Thanks so much.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking time to interview me.